What have you tried that hasn't worked the way you wanted? Because odds are this is not your first rodeo. You've tried something before today. And maybe it's one of the things here. Maybe you've tried several things. Maybe you stopped trying because nothing you tried worked, but you haven't given up because you're here. But what have you tried that has not worked? And if you could just type in the chat, let me know one, two of the things. Doesn't necessarily have to be on my list of collections. These are things I've collected through the years when I speak with people and help them. Your thing that you've tried may be different. And if it's one of the newest ones, Ozempic, Wegovy, semaglutide, there are GLP-1s. Oh, yep, there's someone that Ozempic. And you can chat to me directly, by the way, by just saying only I can see, or you can chat with the whole group. It's up to you. But when I know what you've tried, I can help better give you information that's going to help you solve that problem. Fasting, semaglutide, Ozempic, intermittent fasting. Oh my gosh, so many people have tried that. I'm going to compare intermittent fasting to epigenetic hormone shifting, and you can see the difference of the two. Keto, fasting, Weight Watchers. Oh my gosh. Ozempic. HRTs. Isn't it interesting how HRTs, taking more estrogen, more progesterone, does not take off the fat? I've worked with several women that have been on HRTs, and they would continue to change the dosages, and though they felt better, none of the body fat came off. Optivia. Yep, familiar with it. Very expensive and sometimes effective at first until it's not. Thank you, ladies. That helps me, so now I can even help you better. Let's move it on. How many pounds do you have to lose? Over 50? Around 25? Over 50 is the most common answer I get when I speak to people. And there's the second most is over 100, and the third most is around 25. How long has it been an issue for? So being aware of how much you want to lose and how long it's been an issue is key. And now here's who my heart goes out to. People that have had an issue with their life, with their weight almost their whole entire life, meaning they have felt overweight since they were young. Their hormones have been out of alignment since they were young. Going through menopause just revealed that your hormones were out of alignment because estrogen's like epigenetic armor. It protects you, keeps the weight off, does a lot of cool things. But when you go through menopause, it reveals it. But some women, some men even, have been overweight their whole entire life. And no one ever told them, hey, it's been your hormones working against you your entire life. Now, I have a confession. I am not going to help you lose weight. In fact, I invite you to not even think about losing weight and redefine the way you consider your body and weight. Because you don't want to lose your muscle. The older we get, the more muscle we need to stay healthy. We definitely don't want to lose our organs and bone. It's fat. I hold before you 5 pounds of fat. It is a 5-pound prototype. It actually weighs 5 pounds. I could do some work, some lifts with it. But this is how much space it takes up in your body. So I can just compare this to my head. Imagine you have 4 of these, 10 of these, 20 of these to lose. This is how much mass is being packed into your body. This is what we want to lose. I am in the fat loss business, and I am going to help you turn your fat burning hormones back on, keep the muscle, and burn the fat. So whether you have 50 pounds to lose and you've had it for 20 years, or you have 10 pounds to lose and you've only had it for 2 years, let's think fat pounds. I'm here to burn the fat. In fact, if you catch yourself saying, I want to lose weight, reframe that, rescript that as I'm losing fat weight. I'm losing body fat. And your body will listen. Probably wondering, why am I stuck? How come I haven't lost the fat yet? Everything I've tried hasn't worked. If it worked, it stopped working. Very simple. Your doctor's old textbooks are failing you. Especially women. Women are so underrepresented right now in the medical industry and in the weight loss industry. Your doctors and weight loss practitioners, they're giving you advice on the old textbooks. And the main advice is exercise more, eat less. Don't eat carbs. Don't eat fat. Don't eat this. Don't eat that. There's all these old ways of thinking. Oh, don't forget to eat 6 meals a day. The old textbooks are failing you. And even when doctors get new trainings, they're getting the new trainings from pharmaceutical companies who are basically training them how to prescribe the right medications. Now, I have nothing against doctors, but I am positive after talking to hundreds and hundreds of women that the doctors aren't working with the right set of information that's going to help you and help you get out, help you get unstuck. And hormones are the name of the game. In fact, let's start off with a true story. Leilani. Now, Leilani is outgoing. She is what I would call an extrovert. Very gregarious, very friendly, very just kind and welcoming to everybody. Now, Leilani had a very similar situation. She went to the doctor because she was gaining weight and it wouldn't come off. And the doctor said, exercise more, eat less, have fewer fries, have salads instead. She said, I'm already doing all that. I'm exercising every day almost. I'm going to the gym 3 times a week. I'm walking every day. I'm not eating fries. I'm eating really healthy, and the weight's not coming off. Intuitively, she knew it was her hormones, so she asked her doctor to do blood work. He did. The blood work came back fine. Your tests look fine. You're just getting older. It's just the way it is. So she goes to her female OBGYN. Certainly she's going to get different information from her. Same story, different soundtrack. Exercise more, eat less, except with the offer to go on HRTs. Leilani said no. She believes what I believe, that what if more meds are not the answer? What if more dieting and exercise not the answer? What if your hormones has been the answer the whole time and you have everything you need to do it? And I should tell you, Leilani went on keto. She went on Whole30. She was an Arbonne salesperson. She did Optavia. She spent a lot of money and a lot of time doing things that did not work. Here's what did work, because when she came to me, I said, Leilani, we had several talks. We did a breakthrough interview for her orientation, and we went through it, and we identified what we needed to do. And I said, Leilani, I need you to agree to one thing, and that is for the next 90 days, the time we work together, that you prioritize your hormone health above everything else. That means forgetting everything you know and everything you've done in the past to lose weight, and to prioritize your hormone health above everything else. And when you do that, you'll lose the weight. She said, okay, what's that look like? I said, one, it's not just what you eat. It's when and how and why you eat. Also, your heart rate variability, your whole heart rate resonance, and your emotional systems and neurons in your heart have an impact. Stress has an impact. What's going on in your brains, not just your head brain, but your gut brain and your heart brain, and the fact that your hormones affect every cell in your body. And when those cells start shutting down, you lose functional freedom. So it's more than just losing the fat. We're actually going to prioritize your hormones first, and losing the fat will be a byproduct. She said, all right, let's go for it. We did it. She did the steps, and she started losing weight. She started losing the body fat, the belly fat first. She lost her first 20 pounds. Bam. Lost 10 more pounds, down 30. She's feeling great again. And the biggest compliment she got wasn't, you look skinnier, you look lighter, you look leaner, you look more fit. It was, you look younger. And there's a very concrete reason that the women I work with look younger. And it's one of the hormones you're missing out on right now that gets released naturally. Now, there's a lot of things we can do. There's a lot of different things we can do to get your hormones back in line naturally. But I'm going to focus on the 3 most important ones that are pretty universal for every person. Number 1, let's turn your fat-burning hormones back on. That's what we did with Leilani first and foremost. That's one of the first things I do with any client I ever work with. turn your fat-burning hormones back on. And it's called epigenetic hormone shifting. I'll explain it to you and give you an example. The second is, let's lower our stress and cortisol levels, and let's get our gut microbiome healthy again. So those are the two we started with Leilani, and it worked great. We added more on as we went. So you don't have to do everything at once. 1, 2 things at a time, start getting results. Because you're right, hormones are making it hard for you to lose weight. Anyone that has a weight problem, a weight issue, especially if it's hard to lose the weight, there's a hormone issue going on as well. It is impossible to have extra body fat for a long period of time and have hormones that are aligned. Because when you align your hormones again, your body fat will go back to its normal place, its normal weight. You'll return to your authentic health and your authentic weight. You know it's your hormones. Which one? Which two? Maybe there's 4 of them. Hopefully you can see my screen because I'm showing a bunch of hormones that I categorize by the metabolism hormones, the stress hormones, the sex hormones, the feel-good hormones. And some of those are a morph between a hormone and a neurotransmitter, but they're all the chemicals of your body. They're the chemical messengers of your body. So we know it's our hormones, but which one? That's why the doctors can only prescribe HRTs or the GLP-1s, because it's too hard to isolate the exact hormone that's causing the issue. You know why? They all work together. No hormone works alone. They all work together. So to try to fix a single problem by isolating a single hormone, it's not going to happen. They all work together. If you inject one, it affects the others. If one's low, it affects the others. Here's some things you might not know. Women, yes, when you go through menopause, the ovaries, they go into retirement. They stop making estrogen. By the time you're in mid-menopause and post-menopause, your ovaries have checked out. No more estrogen from the ovaries. Did you know there's another gland in your body that takes over? So you'll be making estrogen for the rest of your life. When the ovaries stop, your adrenal gland takes over and you still make estrogen. So you'll be making estrogen for the rest of your life. You'll have cycles the rest of your life. I don't see any the guys on, so I won't even talk about the testosterone for guys, but I want to make something really clear. I'm going to get a little nerdy, so bear with me. Your HPA axis. If this is the first time you've heard of your HPA axis, remember it, write it down, Google it, tell your friends about it. Your HPA axis is the hormone control center of your body. And more doctors, more practitioners should be telling you about this, because when you balance your HPA axis again, your weight goes back to its natural, authentic set point. The reason you're overweight, whether you're in the midst of menopause, postmenopause, or perimenopause, is because your HPA axis is out of alignment. And if your hormones are out of alignment, it does not matter how much you diet. It does not matter how much you exercise. The weight's not coming off. And if it does come off, some of you might be able to relate, you lose 3 or 4 pounds, and then within a week, it's all back. That's because when the hormones are out of alignment, you cannot lose the weight and keep it off through just diet and exercise. Speaking of your HPA axis, here it is. Your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and your adrenal gland. And it just so happens that your adrenal gland is also your fight or flight center, your stress hormone center. It's where metabolic fatigue and adrenal fatigue come from. Are you starting to see and sense the connections? All right. You can't control estrogen going down. That's part of being a woman. It's meant to happen. Estrogen's meant to go down and the adrenal glands take over, start making estrogen for you. But granted, it's like neuroepigenetic armor, missing out on it changes your quality of life. But it's not the reason it's hard to lose fat. It's your metabolism hormones, first and foremost. Your metabolism hormones are the first ones to focus on, because you can still control them, and that's what's keeping the belly fat. Your stress hormones, especially cortisol, directly related. And you can still control release of your feel-good hormones. So instead of worrying about the things we can't control, we can control the controllable. And that's exactly what I teach you to do, and I'm going to show you how to do right now. And forgive me, some people are coming in late, and I want to let them in so they can at least see the parts of it. Oh, you're saying, what about my thyroid? Yes, your thyroid is part of it. If your HPA axis is out of alignment, your thyroid is going to be out of alignment too. So it's very easy for the doctors to diagnose you and say, oh, thyroid issue, and give you some thyroid medicine, T3 or T4. And you know what? Maybe you lose a couple pounds, but not so much. It's because your HPA axis is out of alignment. It's really hard to attribute overweightness to one specific hormone. That's why the medications are not working. And semaglutide, Wegovy, Ozempic, they work because it's GLP-1, and they don't work for everyone, but they work most times for some people, part of the time, at least at first, because it makes the person feel like they're not hungry. It's putting an artificial glucagon into their system, and then they eat less, so they're basically dieting. But here's the problem. When you put artificial glucagon into your system, it spikes insulin and lowers your natural glucagon. And glucagon we want. Now I'm going on one of my nerdy tangents, so I'll tell you, they all work together. Putting in any artificial hormones eventually going to have an issue. Okay, big question, personal. I'm going to get personal here. Have you been bullied? Have you been bullied when you were a little girl, little boy? Have you been bullied because of your weight? Have you been bullied? I was bullied as a kid, and that's a whole different therapy session I'll go into later. But for now, I'm here to tell you, yes, you have been bullied. You're being bullied right now. And there's two hormones bullying you. Two bully hormones. Cortisol and insulin. They are keeping you fat. They are keeping the fat stubbornly attached. Insulin and cortisol. So obviously, those are going to be the first two hormones we want to do something about. Now, hopefully you've heard about these two. If not, trust and believe you have too much of both of them right now. Insulin, the fat storage hormone. Here's the deal. I am not professing to be able to solve your insulin issues. I will tell you that insulin is the reason the body stores fat, but by lowering your baseline insulin, just 5%, you can increase fat burning by up to 25%. And I have the studies to prove it. And I have the client success to prove it. So obviously, lowering insulin is one of the first things we're going to do. And I'm more than happy to share this study with you. I'll give it to you. Just text me later. I'll give it to you. But the science is there. It's proven. Lower the insulin, you start burning fat again. What about cortisol? Everybody, if you talk to them and say, hey, how's you doing? Oh, I'm stressed. I'm stressed. They're like, so we wear stress like a badge of honor. And women, I've read the books. You have it worse than most of us. You have all these people to take care of, yourself to take care of, your own self-health to take care of. If you're working, you have work and the kid. I mean, there's so much. It's like your mind's always on this rushing. I got this next thing to do. That's an all-day cortisol drip. Cortisol shuts down fat burning. But if you can lower cortisol by just 2%, you can increase fat burning by up to 20%. And there's studies to prove it. So knowing that those are the first two hormones we want to downregulate, that is a big epiphany of knowledge. Now, how do we do it? Real quickly, in case you want to know, I will spend less than a minute talking about myself. I have been doing this for over 25 years, but the reason you should listen to me isn't because of all the great things I've done. It's because of the mistakes I made. The first 20 years, I was using the wrong textbooks too. I was the exercise more, eat better guy. And I ran my own gym. I got lots of great results, but almost everybody gained the weight back. But when catastrophe happened to my own mom, and I felt like a failure because I couldn't help people keep the weight off, I went back to school. I learned hormone science. I learned neuroepigenetics. I learned about neuroplasticity, and wow, the success rate since then, Well, let's put it this way. I'm never going back. This is the way to do it. All right, enough about me. Let's talk about Stacy. I told you about Leilani. Leilani, extrovert. In fact, before we even go on, just in case anyone out there is a little bit skeptical and they're like, you see those before and after pictures and you're like, I don't know, they could just be photoshopping that or getting it off AI or maybe it's not really their client. I showed you the pictures of Leilani earlier. All of you have been invited to this group. This is my private Facebook coaching group. Let's go in and just look up Leilani so you know that this person I'm showing you pictures of, there she is. One, you'll see that she's an extrovert, and two, you'll see that she is a real person. So, yep, there she is. Oh, I'm going to tell you about that actually today. So she would learn stuff, and she would teach the stuff to other people in the group, what she would learn from. Oh, wow. So this is from the meal plan. So Leilani's a real person. She really does our program. Oh, look, there's a healthy hormone. You all will get this food list too. See, she shares everything. So Leilani's real. The results are real. And this really works. That's why I wanted to show you that she was a real person. Stacy, not an extrovert. In fact, I would say she's the opposite. She didn't want to turn on her camera. She didn't want to take pictures. She didn't want to talk. She just wanted to tell her how to do it. But she was skeptical because nothing worked. She hired a personal trainer. She hired a nutritionist. And she was going to group exercise classes. And she cut out sugar all the way. She said, I'm going to do it for 9 months. And she did. 9 months. No sugar, no nothing. Lots of workouts, counting the macros, eating everything. And 9 months later, same face, same body, same weight. It was her hormones. And here's the thing. Intuitively, she knew that. Her doctors didn't know and wouldn't tell her and confirm what she knew, but she knew it. And then, like a lot of you know it intuitively, but she didn't know what to do about it. And I said the same thing to Stacy that I said to Leilani. Will you agree to prioritize your hormone balance first and let the weight loss be a byproduct? She said, yes, as long as it works. I'm scared to death to do anything else because nothing I've tried has worked. I said, this is a completely different approach. It's even different than the way I used to do it. And when you see that you can do it and it's working, then I basically said, give me 5% of your trust and I'll earn the other 95. And I did. But she just followed the system. And she was really amazed that she was no longer craving sugar all the time. She was amazed that she had so much freedom and flexibility with her food, and that she lost the 20 pounds, and that she looks so much younger, and she's lost 10 more cents. And here's what's awesome. She became complete introvert to willing to share these pictures because, one, they look good, and second, I assured her that it will help at least one other person take that next step. And it's going to make my next point. The belly line tells your whole hormone health story. You do not have to get blood work done, ladies. No, you do not have to do the Dutch test. You don't have to find out if your hormones are out of alignment from anyone but yourself and a very easy to get flexible tape measure. That's all you need. Because your belly line and your hormone balance are directly correlated. And your belly line is the area that's right above your navel, below your rib cage. I repeat, simplified science. You do not have to get blood work done to find out if your metabolism hormones are out of alignment. You can do it by measuring your belly line. And here's why. Your belly line is the bottom line because of visceral fat. But I'll tell you about that in a second. Now here's your chart. If your belly line, ladies, is above 36 inches, your hormones are working against you in a big way. If they're above 34 inches, still out of line. If it's above 37 inches, and that's your belly line, the circumference, your hormones are out of alignment and it's going to be very hard for you to burn any fat until they start getting back into alignment. That's simple. Now here's the good news. If you measure it today and it's 38 inches, and you measure it in a week and it's 37 inches, that means your hormones are getting healthier. Now some of you are going to say this is good information and you're not going to measure at all. I am giving you this information for free so you can use it. Measure, because what gets measured gets managed. What gets measured and gets tracked gets changed. So science will verify this. Your belly line tells it all, and I'll verify it for you right now. Visceral fat is what's making your belly line bigger. Visceral fat. And no one likes the fat that hangs on our arms. That's not fun. No one likes the fat that rubs against your thighs when you're walking. Not fun either. Or the fat in our booty that's just too squishy and cellulite-ish. No one likes those fat. But that fat's not dangerous. Visceral fat is alive. I'm going to say it in a different voice. Visceral fat is alive, because I want you to hear that. It is alive. It is releasing cytokines and adaptogens into your body. Now, visceral fat only exists in your abdomen. There's no other place for it. It can only be in your abdomen. And it's below the subcutaneous fat, and it's below the muscle. Visceral fat releases compounds into your body that destroy your hormones. So I can go on and on about all the negative things visceral fat does. You've probably heard of it, but I'm telling you right now, the longer you have visceral fat, the more out of alignment your hormones get. When your hormones get back into alignment, the visceral fat will go down. It's impossible to have visceral fat if you have healthy hormones. But if your metabolism hormones are out of whack, your visceral fat is sticking around. Here's the good news. Once you turn your fat-burning hormones back on, the visceral fat is the first thing to go. Your body wants to get rid of it. Your body wants to get rid of the visceral fat because it's harmful. Cytokines, adaptogens, free fatty acids, resistin, these are all the things it's releasing. So last thing I'm going to say, I really want you to hear this. Every moment you have visceral fat, your hormones and body are becoming less healthy because of the compounds that visceral fat releases. The fat in our arms doesn't do that. Only the visceral fat. And here's a cadaver that had balanced hormones and no visceral fat. And here's a cadaver that had imbalanced hormones and lots of visceral fat. It's not a happy place to be. But I'm not going to just tell you this to scare you. I'm going to tell you what to do about it right here, right now. And it's so simple, some of you won't do it because it's too easy. And plus, it doesn't cost much. But before I tell you, healthy hormones, healthy weight. Healthy weight, healthy hormones. If your hormones are healthy, your weight will go back to normal. And if your hormones aren't healthy, well, it's impossible to have any mismatch of the two. For healthy hormones, the weight follows. All right. You have more than one brain. In fact, you have 4 brains. So I'm going to just talk to you about the brain up in your head and the brain in your gut. It's a brain because it has neurons. Neurons that communicate with your upstairs brain. So it's not your stomach. When they say gut, they're not talking about your stomach. That's a storage area. They're talking about the large intestine and the small intestines. But there are brain neurons there communicating. When they're not communicating correctly, it's not telling your HPA axis the right hormones to release, and it's not getting you back to your authentic health, your authentic weight. So let's get it communicating, and let's get some visceral fat gone. So easy, and you probably have heard of it. And to be honest, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, when everyone told me to do it, I didn't believe them. I just thought it was a hoax. It couldn't be that big because it tasted awful. Over the last 5 years, new research has come out of the benefits it has on your gut microbiome. The fact that it can benefit your gut microbiome so quickly and so efficiently is enough for me. That was all I needed to know. There's lots of other benefits. It's going to help your digestion. It's going to help anti-inflammatory. I've had one person lose 10 pounds just doing this for 45 days. Now, Bragg's is the popular brand. I suggest the Costco brand. I've shopped them all. I still do it every morning. And I recommend everyone do it because it's not a quick fix, do it one time, it works. You have to do this every day, at least 9 out of 10 days to get the benefit. And it's 1 tablespoon in a cup of water every morning. And I'm going to give you a habit, a worksheet. In fact, I emailed you all the morning ritual, and that habit is on there. And I'll show it to you now because it took a while for the hormones to get out of alignment. It's going to take lifestyle shifts to get them back into alignment, which means doing new things on a consistent basis, but they have to be things you can live with. But doing them consistently over a period of time, that's how you get your hormones back in line. So, morning ritual. I've emailed this to you already. Here it is again. Morning mojo. Remember, what gets measured gets changed. Measure your weight or measure your belly line first thing when you wake up. Number 2, I call it the morning mojo. And here's how you do it. 1 small cup, 8 ounces, tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. Fill the rest of the cup up with water. Drink this. Tasty. Not really. It does have a little fizz to it. And then drink 20 ounces of water. You've hyperhydrated and you've healed your gut microbiome already. Oh, but it doesn't stop there. Next, 2 minutes of movement. Richard Simmons type PE class movements, very simple, very easy. Just do it and get your body moving. It's going to affect, you're not doing it to burn calories. You're doing it to turn on new neural pathways in your body and brain and throughout your whole system that say, hey, I'm healthy. I'm doing healthy stuff. I'm prioritizing it. And then if you do the mindset exercise that I put in there as well, this all adds up. And it only takes 6 minutes. And then if you go outside and get natural sunlight, melatonin hormone, that's another hormone we get to balance. And if you make your bed, man, you already have 6 wins that all start with an M before most people have done anything. And here's why that pays off. Throughout the day, when negative thoughts come, negative feelings come, you feel like, oh, I'm never going to get out of this weight rut, you can remind yourself, today's a healthy success. I started off with my healthy routine. And your brain listens to that message. More on that soon. The messages we tell ourselves about ourselves matter, but your brain needs evidence that you're actually doing something new to correct your issue. All right, morning ritual. I emailed it to you. It's up to you to do it. It works. I do it with my highest end clients, and I give it away for free. Now let's talk about turning your fat-burning hormones back on. Now, disclaimer, I'm going to give you a sample system to do it with, but I don't know enough about you to make it work exactly for you, but it will work for anyone to get them started. So just full disclaimer there. With that being said, shifting. It's all about shifting fuel tanks. When you shift from one fuel tank to the other, it causes a hormone change in your body. But you have to always shift from one fuel tank to the other. And after it's shifted, there's a certain amount of healing that occurs through your hormones that can only happen when you shift. So it's all about shifting fuel tanks. Speaking of fuel tanks, time to type something in the chat now. Our body can only run on 2 fuels. 2 fuels. Most of the time we're running on the food we just ate. See a couple of you eating now. And your body uses that food, turns it into glucose, aka sugar. And when that glucose runs out, we eat again and create more glucose. So if we're not running on glucose, there's only one other fuel we can run on. If someone's brave enough, type it in the chat. We're like a Prius car. Prius runs on electricity or gas. We run on glucose, aka sugar, or rhymes with chat. And those are the only 2 fuels our body can run on. That's it. There's no other energy. No, but good guess. There's only 2 energies we can run on. And guess what? We have this one stored. We store this energy. We actually turn protein into glucose. Protein gets converted into glucose and amino acids. But here's a hint. Jane! Ding, ding, Jane. And this is for you, Linda and Jane. This is a happy dance where you're brave enough to go for it. And we got it right. Yep, that's it. You either run on glucose or you run on fat. All day long, every day. But most of us are running on fuel tank 1 all of the time. That's the issue. Our body's meant to run on fuel tank 2 part of the time, and because you're not shifting to fuel tank 2, there's a surplus of energy waiting there to be used. Now here's how your hormones come in. When you're in fuel tank 1, insulin's running the show. Insulin is the fat storage hormone, and the longer it's out there, it refuses to let the fat go. Insulin's running the show in fuel tank 1, but in fuel tank 2, your first superhero of the evening, glucagon. Glucagon starts a process called gluconeogenesis, which is basically converting fat into glucose. So you have unlimited energy. And when glucagon can't cut the mustard anymore, human growth hormone comes out. This is the most exciting part of this system. Human growth hormone heals your hormones and is the fastest fat accelerator. Now you have to teach your body how to shift, and when I work with a client, my objective is to get them to the growth hormone release phase as quickly and comfortably as possible without being hungry. When you release glucagon, you're not hungry. So shifting is different. And I don't know when you shift. Linda, I don't know when you shift. Jane, I don't know when you shift yet. Elizabeth, I don't know when you shift. Kiki, I don't know when you shift either. But I can find out. But you're probably going to shift around this time, 12 to 14 hours. You don't shift every day the same way. That's why intermittent fasting does not work. And it does work a little bit, but then it stops for almost everyone. Because shifting and intermittent fasting are completely different. And Lucy Ann, all she had to do was learn to shift. And she was spending thousands of dollars on HRTs, personal trainer, nutrition, Optiva, a whole bunch of supplements, and nothing was working. And she had done this for, I think, 15 years, 10 years, and just trying. She works out more than me, 6 times a week, religiously. And when I gave her system, she followed it to the T. And she got results. And all we had to do for her was shift her metabolism hormones. And check this out. Halfway through, she can't believe it. And she couldn't believe it was working. She was second guessing me all the way because she's getting information from this source, that source. I said, you hired me. Why don't you just follow what I'm saying 100%? And if it doesn't work, I'll gladly refund your money and your misery and your body fat. But it did work. She had to just ignore all the other information and dial it in. And she lost the 23 pounds. But here's the beautiful part. She kept her muscle. She lost it all in body fat. Dropping 15% of a body fat is a big deal. And that is the part that I love and am most proud of, and it's because of growth hormone. This is the phase I try to get every person to, where gluconeogenesis is occurring, growth hormones being released, and your body is on fat-burning fire. Everyone's different. Lucy Ann will tell you herself she could not have done that on her own. But I help guide you based on when you get hungry, when you don't get hungry, the foods you eat, a lot of factors to release growth hormone. And look at the belly size difference. Her belly line is 8 inches smaller. Her hormones are turned back on. When she went home during the holidays, she ate gingerbread. She ate cupcakes. She drank hot chocolate. She could not believe she was able to eat and drink the things she did and not gain a bunch of weight. She was scared to death. And yeah, her weight went up like 2 days and came right back down. Because hormone weight loss is far different than calorie restriction weight loss. So plan on you shifting around 12-hour mark. But how long do you stay shifted after you shift? It varies from person to person. Now, some of you typed in intermittent fasting earlier. Some of you tried intermittent fasting. I bet you everyone on this call has heard of intermittent fasting. This is not intermittent fasting, and this is not keto. I'll tell you that right now, because everything that we do here is to shift your hormones. Intermittent fasting is like not eating during certain times, time-restricted eating, in order to reduce the amount of calories. And it doesn't take into account the hormonal shift that happens. and it doesn't try to exasperate and build on that hormonal shift. Epigenetic hormone shifting is all about shifting your hormones, and the weight loss comes out naturally. And I'm not the only one doing it. Mindy Pels is doing it. She was one of the first ones to discover the women's hormonal cycles. Dr. Peter Attia, Mark Hyman. These are all experts I've learned from, collaborated with, and that know more than me. But I'm happy to say that I'm humble enough to learn from others. And the one I learned from first, Jason Fung, the obesity code. He discovered this right from the beginning, and they all have different names. Hormone shifting, postponing food strategically to accelerate fat burning. But whatever you call it, just know it's shifting your hormones. And in case you're wondering, the benefits are lengthy. Not only does it take off the burning, not only does it burn belly fat, it also helps your gut microbiome. It also makes sure the belly is the first thing to go. And after you get your hormones back aligned, you're able to incorporate so much more food freedom and flexibility. A hormone solution is far different than a calorie restriction solution. Jason Fung. When I read his book, I said, oh my gosh, is this true? And then I found out it is true. And then there's other people writing about it too. So I've been doing it wrong this whole time. But not anymore. In fact, I am going to teach you how to start shifting today. So yes, this is one of those things that this is a free, learn how to shift. Day 1, eat normal. Eat the way you always do. 3 meals. If you normally eat 3 meals, have 3 meals. 10 to 12 hours, what have you. But day 2, you're going to eat 2 meals inside of a 6-hour window. Day 3, back to normal. Day 4, you're shrinking your window to 5 hours, still 2 meals. Day 5, back to the 12-hour eating window. And day 6, 1 meal inside a 2-hour eating window. And on day 7, you go right back to the beginning and follow this cycle. Now, this is a basic shifting plan that will work for anyone safely to begin with, but obviously as time goes on, you'd want to shift that up. And if I were working with you one-on-one, I would definitely set you up with one that's more personalized for you. So this is your basic shifting plan. It will get you started, and it will scientifically shift your hormones into fat burning. All right, but what if that last day scares you? What if it scares you to death? Oh, I don't know about 2 meals or 1 meal in 2-hour time frame. I'm scared of that. She was literally scared of not eating. And I have a special place in my heart for Reba because she's a behavior specialist. She helps people get over their shortcomings, their mental and emotional boundaries and obstacles. She helps them all day long, but she was hurting so much inside because she kept trying to lose the weight. Nothing worked. And she would try there and she'd try there. And then she started being really embarrassed about it and didn't even want to talk about it or tell anyone about it. And it just was an emotional whirlpool of negativity. But she's going to work every day, helping other people. And when we first started, she was not ready to shift. I repeat, when we first started, she was not ready to shift. It was too scary for her. And the stress it was causing her just thinking about that was going to spike cortisol too much. So we started off more simply. And you can start with this too. In fact, the next one I want everyone to do in combination with the shifting. And if you're not ready to shift yet, at least do this next one. Because Reba would say, I can't wait to eat. And there's 2 meanings to that. Meaning she looked forward to eating. She didn't want to wait that long to eat. She was scared to postpone food. And eating gives her relief. And that's really what we got down to. Eating was the thing she looked forward to. It relieves her stress. It relieves her negative emotions. And it's something she does to celebrate. Okay. But when we brought that to the light, we were able to do something. But let's go back to the beginning. The first thing I had Reba do was eat sane. Because the idea of postponing food was stressing her out too much. Eat sane. This is going to impact your brain. It's going to impact your heart brain and your HPA axis because your emotional brain is in your heart. There's neurons there. And stress is causing an impact on your whole HPA axis. So if life's causing you stress all day long, I don't want your system that's going to help you causing stress. But it's important for you to know that that stress is communicating to your whole body all the time. It's telling your body not to release the fat burning hormones, but instead the fight or flight hormones. I call it fight, flight, or freeze hormones. Those neurons are impacting the rest of your body. Now they can map out the brain activity in your heart. Your emotional energy matters. And doctors aren't even taking this into account. Your heart actually can put out 60 times more energy than your brain, electromagnetic currents, but it's communicating all the time. So we took care of the emotions and we went slow and we started with eating sane. She would not take a picture for me until she lost her first 10 pounds. Now, interestingly, she's lighter in this picture, but she's not wearing the constricting clothes. Now she's starting to smile a bit. She's down 30 pounds. So at this beginning part, we're not even doing the intermittent hormone shifting yet. We're just doing the eat sane, and now we're shifting. So far, she's down 53 pounds. Her belly line's down 11 inches. And here's what she started with. Eat sane. Eat sane. I'm going to give you some catchphrases. Eat sane's one of them. You already know what you eat matters. You can't eat McDonald's every day and Krispy Kreme every day and put that stuff in your body and expect to be healthy. You already know that, though. I'm not even going to go into a long tirade about that. But when you eat matters. I showed you that with the shifting system already. How you eat matters. That's what we're going to talk about now. Leptin is the I'm full hormone. Ghrelin is the I'm hungry hormone. So when you eat, don't stuff, don't starve, prioritize protein. And by don't stuff, that means when you're satisfied, stop eating. Because it balances your leptin and ghrelin hormones. If you're still hungry, keep eating. All those years of dieting, just eating a little bit, calorie restriction, actually hurt your hormones. Diets do not work, so we don't do diets. And if you've done diets in the past, it's actually unbalanced your hormones. But I bet you already intuitively knew that. I bet you knew that was doing more damage than good, even though sometimes it can give you short-term benefits. But now, if your hormones are out of alignment, you can diet, and very little weight's going to come off. But I'm encouraging you to, when you eat like an adult. Don't stuff, don't starve. And prioritize protein. Protein is your most important macro when it comes to healing your hormones. Because you're in the healing the hormone phase. You're in the recover the hormone balance phase. So right now, protein is your most important macro. Stop eating 3 hours before bed and wait at least an hour in the morning before you eat. That's going to create space at night for your hormones to shift. And food awareness. Ask yourself this question before eating anything. Right before it's going to pass those lips, say, what in the F am I putting in my mouth? What 4-letter F word is this? Because let's face it, food, it's a 4-letter F word, right? Not that one, though. It's not no UCK or any of that in it. But it is a 4-letter F word, and for some of us, it sometimes can trigger some feelings. But ask yourself, am I eating this for fuel? Am I eating this for healing, which is ideal? Or am I eating for feelings, for frustration, for fun, for flavor, for friends, for family? Just by becoming aware, consciously aware of why you're eating it, will change your brain chemistry and change your hormone release. And you will eventually change your decisions. So you won't have to use willpower not to eat the cupcake. You'll decide consciously and subconsciously not to eat it. So what the F am I putting in my mouth? And I have delivered to you your 4 facts into actions. Number 1, your hormones are all connected. They're being guided by your HPA axis, the hormone control center of your body. Know that. Number 2, start healing your gut microbiome and reducing visceral fat with that daily morning routine. Number 3, use the sample shifting system I gave you to start hormone shifting. Number 4, eat sane. Don't stuff, don't starve, and prioritize protein. And number 5, start raising your food awareness because it changes your brain chemistry, which is my favorite part of my program, of this program, is that's the neuroepigenetic alignment, the brain, body, heart connection. Now I've given you the 4 things, even a bonus one that I promised. It's okay if I just give you one more. It's the most important one. It's the one I love the most, but it's almost maybe a little bit more out of the box. All right. Thank you. One more. It is the stress hormone regulating system because Leilani got stuck at 20 pounds. She lost her first 20 and she could not lose any more. And the reason was cortisol. But you could not tell by looking at Leilani. She is smiling. She is happy. She's always helping others. But cortisol was keeping her stuck because she always had something to do, somewhere to be, someone to take care of. And sometimes it led to stress eating. Sometimes it led to just cortisol levels shutting down her body's ability to burn fat. It was when we did the neuroepigenetic alignment process that we lowered cortisol. Odds are your cortisol levels are higher, and here's why. Our feelings and our thoughts. Sometimes a feeling comes up and we start thinking about that feeling and we create a story about that feeling and it becomes a perpetual loop. And we're releasing cortisol and fight or flight hormones the longer we feel that feeling and think those thoughts. And it could be our body thinks we're in danger, and there's no danger at all. It's just psychological danger we create. But they become programs that repeat. And sometimes a thought will come, and that'll trigger feelings. And they're usually repeat thoughts that keep coming up again and again. Ladies, these things are releasing the fight or flight hormones in your body. And they're so normal and familiar that you don't even realize that, hey, I'm stressed out. I'm on this chronic level of stress all day. There's a book called The Rushing Women Syndrome by Dr. Liberty Weaver. I have it right. Oh, yep, I have it here. That she talks about the hormonal deficits being caused by this. Now, I'm going to give you a little bit more neuroscience. I talked to you about your gut brain. I talked to you about your heart brain. Now, in your head, you actually have 2 brains. You have your conscious and your subconscious. Your subconscious is where all the programs are. These are your automatic default programs. These are the programs that you automatically default to when you're tired, angry, frustrated, hungry, scared. It's where you're hundreds, in fact, you have between 100,000 and 1 million programs stored in your subconscious brain. These programs, well, we'll get to the negative ones. Let's talk about a positive one. Here's an example of a positive program. You haven't seen your friend in a long time. You're going to go to your favorite store or maybe to your favorite restaurant. You're going somewhere fun, and you're driving, and you're talking, you're driving. She's talking about this, you're talking about that. You're talking so much, and you love the conversation. It's so engaging. Oh, you can't believe this happened. Oh, really? That happened? You're talking. Next thing you know, you're pulling into the parking lot. You're parking the car. And you realize that whole time I was driving, I wasn't even paying attention to driving. I was so involved in that conversation. Oh my gosh, you look back, you didn't run anyone over, you didn't get a ticket, no accidents. It's because you have a subconscious program for driving, an automatic default program. You have several of them. Anything you do all the time, your brain memorizes how to do it. Well, that's the good side of subconscious. We also have other programs that are automatic responses to different triggers and stimulus, especially when it comes to our health. What programs are you really running? Big ones are the to-do list, work stress. What will they think? What do they think? Sometimes conflict. Should I do this? Should I do that? Self-criticism, a big one. Comparing. These are default programs that kept us safe at some point, that are still there and are releasing cortisol and fight or flight hormones all day long. Judging others, worry, emotional storylines. You feel an emotion and you tell yourself a big story about it. Oh, I'm mad right now because of this, this, and this, and this, and that. Or I'm sad now because of this. The emotion is an emotion. It doesn't have to have a story all the time, but we just do it automatically. This is the human predicament. Every human has programs. Now, here's some of the behaviors and actions that come from the programs. And truth be told, I am guilty of these and had to do a lot of work to stop doing this, and I didn't even know I was doing them. I was big in approval seeking and perfectionism and people pleasing. I had no idea. And it was default programs. When these programs are on autopilot, they just happen. And other people see them, but we don't. We become it's so familiar to us. Now, I am not telling you I can get rid of every program and relieve all your stress. I am saying that if we reduce these programs, even one of them, and can reduce your baseline cortisol by 2%, you're going to burn more fat and you're going to feel better. Now, those programs, at some point, they kept us safe. Can't be mad at them. They were there. They kept us safe. They made us feel more at ease or more comfortable, or we had to do it to survive. And we did it so many times, it became a default program, and it's still there. You are not the only one. I'm not the only one. The difference between people who are very happy and successful and the ones that aren't as happy and successful, the ones that are, they have made peace and re-scripted their default programs because everyone has them. It's like this battle between what you really want and those programs working against you. And sometimes we're not even aware that they're working against us. That's what makes them so silent, unknown, and familiar. They're familiar. They feel comfortable. That's why this probably seems familiar. You've tried to lose weight before. Your intention, I want to lose weight. You start taking actions. You join a gym, you work out, you eat healthy, drink more water, get more sleep, do all the things. But yet, the weight doesn't come off and it definitely doesn't stay off. Yes, it's your default programs. And your default programs release cortisol, which is a hormone. It's been going on for a while. We have an intention, but we don't get to the outcome because our default thoughts, default feelings, default actions, all the default programs are in the way. You know what's missing here? Authenticity. Because if we are authentically aligned, our thoughts, feelings, actions align with our intention. And we bring the ones into the light that are hiding in the dark, keeping us stuck. That's way our thoughts and feelings don't turn into the same old behaviors. And these behaviors are because of old beliefs. Somewhere deep down, we think it's going to keep us safe. It's going to make things better. I'm going to feel better. It's all going to be okay. And we keep repeating the same things again and again because it's on autopilot. And this happened through a process. What we think about becomes our words, and what our words become our beliefs. What we say, what we do, what we write. Our beliefs determine how we perceive the world and our emotions. And then our emotions and our beliefs, that decides how we're going to act. And sometimes our intention. And then our actions become our habits. Our habits become our values. And then our values become our lifestyle. And every one of us on this call today, the life we have right now is because of our lifestyle. It's all connected. And some of this is happening on the old default programs. They're memorized. It's your go-to automatic kick in. When we get all of these aligned, working for one intention, things start to work in your favor, and the old programs, the old self-sabotage, the old, oh, I was doing so well, then I messed everything up. Your new default programs actually help you stay in line with your intention. And when that happens, you're aligned. Your heart, your brain, your gut, your actions, your thoughts, it aligns. And your intention becomes an outcome. But this alignment takes time. Doing the first step will reduce your cortisol by at least 2%, and your fat burning will turn back on. So it's a twofold approach, metabolism hormones and the cortisol hormones. We're going to take care of them at the same time, because when we do, It is called neuroepigenetic alignment. It's a combination of epigenetics and neuroplasticity, and it is my favorite part of this lifestyle shift program. And here's the ideal method we use. Here's a sample worksheet from one of the clients. There's an actual step-by-step process we do to alleviate the old program. And when you do that, ladies, goals start coming true. You return to your true health and your true self. All right, quick review. Speaking of making your goals come true, here's what we covered. HPA Access is running the show. We all have one. We've always had one. It's out of alignment, so it's making it hard to lose weight. You have 4 brains. Subconscious, conscious, your heart brain, and your gut brain. They're all working together through your HPA Access. There's a lot of hormones. It's hard to isolate the one when you say it's my hormones because they all work together. But we focus on your metabolism hormones. That's how we get rid of the belly fat. Your eats, your beats, your stress, your brain, and your body all work together for your hormone fat loss. It's not just one or the other. They all work together. Eat sane. Easy peasy. Don't stuff. Don't starve. Prioritize protein. And you're doing this to balance your hormones. I want to remind you, everything I've showed you, yes, it'll make you feel better and look better, but it's because it's going to balance your hormones again. Everything I've showed you is a natural hormone balance technique. Your shifting strategy. Let's see. If I were working with Jane one-on-one, I would find out Jane first, how many extra pounds she has to lose, her hormone history, her metabolism history, any emotional stressors in the past, any stress eating, any eating disorders of the past. I would get a picture so I could find out her metabolic somatotype, and I'd find out how long she's had the extra fat. I would take all these into account before creating her first shifting system. So there's a lot of factors that go into that, and as long as you know that there's a lot of factors and you do your best to make it work, then it's good to go. But you have to shift, and the shift has to match your lifestyle and your body. So shifting is fun. Epigenetic hormone shifting is fun. Authentic alignment is the most empowering, I believe, but all together, you may be excited, you may be overwhelmed, maybe you want more, maybe you're thinking, oh my God, I'm glad it's done. In any case, I hope that you can take the information I gave you and use it, but odds are you've been collecting information for a while. So maybe it's time to make a decision instead of more information. Because you can keep gathering information, and you can keep getting the information and using it on your own. The problem now is there's so much conflicting information. You get this information from that source and this from that source. You don't know what to do. So you probably will just keep collecting information. Or schedule your 90-day breakthrough orientation. If you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, this is so good. Now he's trying to sell us something. Nope, I'm trying to give you something. First of all, imagine not doing this on your own, not doing your own trial or error. Imagine that you had someone guiding you every step of the way. And all you have to do is schedule your breakthrough session. That's all I'm asking you to do today. And I'm going to give this to you just for scheduling. I'm going to give you $500 worth of value in the form of a digital course. Everything we talked about today, plus more, all in a digital course. I'm going to give this to you for free just for scheduling. Just schedule. And this is why you should schedule. I guide you through how to find your metabolism set point. So there's no guesswork there. I guide you through how to adjust on a weekly basis your time eating protocol so you can actually turn the fat burning hormones on in a way that works for you in your life. I show you how to heal your gut microbiome so you're not guessing and trying to add and take things away. You know exactly what to do. I keep you accountable. What gets measured gets managed. What gets measured gets changed. I make sure that we have a system in place that works for you, that we succeed together. And then this is the part I love. We pick the program that's causing you the most cortisol, and we rescript it. If you're ready to start working out, which most people are, you have a full personal trainer and workouts that I guide you through. And then the daily alignment. Literally takes 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes at night, and you reduce stress. You reduce stress on the spot, you reduce it as it comes up, and these are science-proven methods. And you get the ideal method to lower cortisol levels and reverse those old programs that are holding you back. You get everything. But here's the thing. You can't do everything at once. I can guide you. I will guide you to do the thing that's most important to you right now, and then the next thing after that. See, it's not like you're drinking water from a fire hose and drowning yourself. One thing at a time, dial it in, do the next thing. And all you have to do is schedule your breakthrough session. That easy. And just for scheduling your breakthrough session, you get the full Hormone Weight Loss Kickstart course just to say, here's a bonus to make it a no-brainer. So you get over $500 worth of value just for scheduling. And if you're like Jennifer said, I'm too old. I can't do this. And she said, I'm going on vacation. I cannot do this. I said, Jennifer, you've already started. It's not a diet. You don't have to go to the gym. All you have to do is keep following the system we have, and you can eat whatever you want on vacation. Just follow your time eating protocol and do as much. Just enjoy your vacation and follow the system as best you can, and you'll see that you either won't gain any weight or you'll gain a little bit and you'll lose it right afterwards. Because we had time to shift her hormones before her vacation. So because we started in March and she didn't go on vacation until May. I knew that was enough time to shift her hormones some. And guess what? She went on vacation and she lost a couple pounds. She went down from 168 to 164 on vacation. She hit her goal weight, and she thinks I'm Coach Tim. You can see there. But she is excited because it worked, and nothing else worked for her. And it worked while she was on vacation because hormone weight loss is far different than calorie restriction. So here's the promise. It used to be a hypothesis, but now it's happened so much. If you prioritize your hormone health for 90 days, you will lose weight. You will feel lighter. You'll be more joyful. You'll be more productive. And the fat loss will be a byproduct. And if I work with you one-on-one and you don't lose at least 20 pounds of fat, I will keep coaching you at no charge until you do. That is the true hypothesis. Now, I don't have many spots for one-on-one, but we have 2 other options that you can choose from as well. But you won't know which option is best for you until you schedule your 90-day breakthrough orientation. And you get bonuses. You get the full course. You get the 1-hour coaching session, one-on-one Zoom with me. You get a recipe book. You get group coaching and accountability. I mean, I'm trying to make this a no-brainer. All you have to do is schedule your... That's funny, I said no-brainer. But I'm the one with no brains because you're like, where can I schedule it? I'm going to put it now in the chat. I get excited. I told you guys. I get excited. I have tried to make this the best value you can ever come across because you're going to get way more in life value. Because I do ask for, I'm a for real deposit. I'll apply it to your breakthrough option of choice. I will refund it back to you if you don't sign up. I will do whatever you want. But you get all this just for scheduling. So all I'm asking is you click that link and schedule it. Oh, Deb. If you're like Deb, she already knew all this stuff. I didn't teach her anything new. She's a nurse. She's a registered nurse. She already knew about all of these hormones. She already knew about cortisol and stress. But yet, she didn't know how to put it all together in a way that worked for her. And she already spent lots of money on trying to solve it with other gurus or experts or specialists. But she'd never gone about it the way we did. And she gave me 5% of her trust. She actually gave me about 15 right from the beginning. And she got results because she followed her time eating protocol. She focused on shifting her hormones, and she just followed the easy instructions. Now, my gosh, she has taken it to a whole nother level on her own. Plus, she still helps people in the group. I mean, it's amazing to see how far Deb's gone. Like, she became a different version of herself, and now her big priority is how challenging are the hikes she goes on with her husband. Like, how deep can she hike in? Because she wants functional freedom. And she's now releasing stem cells when she does her hormone shifting. That's a whole different topic for advanced. And she started off by scheduling a 90-day breakthrough orientation. Jennifer started off by scheduling a 90-day breakthrough orientation. Reba started off, you guessed it, scheduling that breakthrough orientation. I'm going to put it in the chat one more time because I don't want you to miss out on this because of my mistake. Lucy started off by scheduling a 90-day breakthrough orientation. Yes, you do pay a deposit. I've had to add that because so many people were scheduling it, not showing, or oh, it was a mess. But now at least I know you're serious. Stacy started by scheduling the 90-day breakthrough orientation. Everyone that I've shared with you today, Leilani, yep, she started off with a 90-day breakthrough orientation. I get to learn so much about you and your situation and put together a game plan during the 90-day orientation that I can never do in a group call or webinar or from a questionnaire. And I'm able to map out a game plan that's actually going to help you get results. And for your $49 deposit, you get access to the Hormone Weight Loss Kickstart course, you get the conversation with me, and you get it applied. Whatever you choose to sign up for, it's applied to that. And if you decide you don't like any of it and want it back, I'll give it back to you. I don't want your $49. I just want real people that really want a solution, that are really serious, so we can dial it in together. All right. All you have to do is schedule and here, I'll go to that link for you too. If I click on that link, boom, you go to this page. It'll say exactly what I just told you. And there's a little video. If you click this, is exactly what I told you. $49 fully refundable. After you get this, make your deposit. It'll take you to a link to schedule your breakthrough session with me one-on-one. It's a 1-hour Zoom call, so you can choose a time that works. And yep, that is. Now, if you're wondering how much does it cost, there's 3 different levels. The lowest price is $99 a month. And then to work one-on-one with one of my coaches is $249. And to work directly with me one-on-one, there's only one spot open for that. It does cost more. But during our breakthrough call, we'll figure out what option is best for you, both by your needs, your budget, and at the end of it, you'll walk away with clarity of which one you should do. All right. Any questions about anything I covered or anything else hormone, neuroepigenetic, neuroplasticity related? If so, you can type them in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I will not get off until all questions are answered. Let's see. Maria, I'm glad you made it. I didn't get to meet you at the beginning. Let's see. Jane, you were here at the beginning. Good job. Anybody else want to turn your camera on so I can see you and say hi before you log off? That'd be great. Does anyone have any questions? Hey, Susan, I saw you for a bit, then you disappeared. Now you're back. Good to see you. You're muted, though. And Kiki, there you are. I saw you too. You disappeared. But you're back. Susan, any questions? All right, everybody get ready. I'm going to start over from the beginning. I'm just kidding. You can watch the replay. The replay will be up on our website. Yeah. You got the main part at the end of it. With some good little icebreakers and some fun stuff. But you can watch the replay. I always post them on our website, so you can check that out. I'll send you an email and a message so you can get it. But the best bet is to schedule that breakthrough call. It's easy to put it off and just find a reason not to, though. It's those old programs. I get it. Like two of you, of all everyone that came today, will schedule a breakthrough call. That's usually how it goes. And okay, and one of you will probably sign up. Okay, but it gets better and better as time goes on because there's just so many programs working against making a decision to actually do something differently that you believe will work. Because most women have tried so many things by this point, they've lost all faith. So I totally get it. But hopefully, I've boosted your faith a little bit. If not with me, somebody else is doing a hormone solution. But hey, thanks for saying hey. How about you, Kiki? Any questions? Anything? Esmeralda, Jane, very quiet. You can very calm. Any questions for you? Well, I am going to post some content on Facebook so you all can see that, and I'm going to edit and post this video so you can watch that. And I hope to see one or two of you scheduled for a breakthrough session because I love helping people, especially when we dive in deep and personalize it for your specific needs. But it's up to you. All I can do is be the provider of the information. It's up to you to make the decision. Yogi Berra. I'm going to do a Yogi Berra quote. When you come to a fork in the road, take it. It means make a decision, and sometimes deciding to do the uncomfortable, risky, uncertain, but may have great benefit thing is the way to go. All right, everyone. That is enough for me. I think I have talked enough for tonight. I am so grateful, especially for you, Maria, Kiki, Jane, Esmeralda, and Susan, who stayed till the end. So many thanks. It means a lot to me, and I hope that you all got some value in that. Yes? Pacific. So I'm in California. I'm on the West Coast. We're both on West Coast now, so you'll have an easier time than everybody else. But I only have to do a certain amount of one-on-one meetings because well, that's why we have the deposit, so only people that are serious. But then when I'm coaching my clients, I that's why I can only take on 10 clients at a time because there's so many interactions and meetings. Because if I sign up with you, if we work together one on one, Susan, I don't stop until you get the results you signed up for. And so that means we have to go longer. I do it because I refuse to let this fail. It's not like your typical take this, do this, and check in with me later. It's like every day we're interacting because it's hormones are there's a different way to do things, and things shift, and it's up to me to make adjustments with them as we go. So I'm excited. Good question. I would say you have things to do throughout the day. You have a messenger chat to message me whenever you want to in between things. And like if I were coaching you, free coaching everyone, here we go. I would tell you this. Stop eating 3 hours before bed tonight. And this is all you have to do. Like this is your first assignment. Like if you were paying me $1 million, it doesn't cost a million, don't worry. But if you were, and you're my client, I would say tonight, stop eating 3 hours before bed, and do your best to make your last bite protein. Then tomorrow we're gonna change it up. We're gonna go into discovery mode. I want you to not eat until you decide you're authentically hungry. So I want you to raise your hunger awareness. I want you to be a detective. I want you to be curious. I want you to see when your body actually gets hungry on its own naturally. That means you're starting to shift. And I'm going to do that for a couple of days with you. And I'm going to start figuring out where your natural shift point is. And based on that, I will start creating your first timed eating protocol. That way you're never hungry and we start shifting and we gradually get you there. So truly, I would ask you to stop eating 3 hours before bed, but you have to get curious. If you're stressed out about it and you think, oh my God, I have to not eat tomorrow until 4 o'clock, or I can't eat tomorrow until 12. No, but instead, you think, I'm curious when I actually will get hungry. It changes your neurochemistry, it changes what hormones are released into your body, and it gives us good data. So I would also say download the hormone healthy food list and choose the foods you love on that and start circling them. That way we can make your meal plans out of that. And I would say do your morning ritual. Start tomorrow and let's get on a winning streak. But then I've already given you 3 things, and I would stop there. That's enough. Yeah, if you schedule a call, I'll send it to you right away. And it's also available inside the group. I mean, you can get it for free too. And you don't have to pay to get it. You can still get it. I give a lot of my stuff out for free. It's just if you need someone to guide you and put it together for you, that's what you pay for. But I gave out almost all the resources for free. And it's also in the course when you get the 28-day course. Everything I'm talking about is in there too. Great questions, and thank you for talking to me. Very welcome. All right, unless there's any more, it is time for me to walk the dog. Rocket, it's his birthday tomorrow, but that's another story for another time. My dog. It's been a learning experience. All right, I'm Coach Tom, most grateful man on the planet. Thank you for letting me do something I'm passionate about, and I hope I get to help you because the more people I help, the more you guys can help. We're all in this together.